My first trumpet teacher told me when I was 9. He asked me, this guy named Pal Oswald in Americana music, chain smoking non-filter cigarettes in the little booth, but no big, smaller than this. Just putting them in. I think he must have smoked 5 cigarettes per half hour lesson. And he asked very first lesson. This is an old guy that had played in Dixieland bands around Dayton and was a really good trumpet player and all that kind of stuff. He'd been, he was getting up in years. I don't know how old he was. When you're that age, everyone's old. He asked me, and of course I'm nervous as can be. I'm ready to piss my pants. I'm so nervous, and it's like, well, what do you think music's for? Fun? He goes, that's right. He goes, and don't you ever forget that.
Children's songs now, and I have been doing that for like 5 years now, and I've probably got over a dozen. What would you say when it comes to having children's songs in a niche market? What's the next step? Right, moving to going to a publishing company, right?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, there's a book out there. I don't know how long it's called The Songwriter's Market. They sell it on Amazon.
I think I have that book.
Yeah. They will tell you where to place music. But yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yeah.
A lot of times it was just trying to figure out what do people need the most help with, and what we found is marketing and promotions. It's an important part to the music business. Music, I always say, is 50%. I believe the marketing is the other 50%. If you don't have both, you don't have anything.
Wow, I haven't seen that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love the Breeders. Love the Breeders.
Why do you think artists struggle with marketing themselves?
It's no fun. It's the least sexy part of making music. Marketing is not fun at all. Getting together, rehearsing with the band, lots of fun. Writing songs, for me, working up songs, a lot of fun. Recording, a blast. One of the best things in the world. Playing the songs for people, great. Sitting there and going, hey, do you want to listen to my music? Sucks. It sucks. I hate it.
Why is it hard for artists to promote themselves?
I think artists and bands and people in general don't like promoting themselves. That's the one fear you really have to overcome. Doesn't matter what business you're in, you have to be able to promote and market yourself and get in front of the right people. And in this case, the right fan base. I don't think that a lot of local bands and artists are aware that you can create a business. All you need is 1,000 fans. That's all you need is 1,000 true fans spending $100 with you, and you have a 6-figure business.
If you can acquire 1,000 true fans, 1,000 people out of the 7 billion in the world that are invested in you and willing to buy your music and go to your shows, especially online on the internet, you can make a living. You could make 6 figures off of 1,000 people that truly are true fans of yours. And that's not even discounting the people that kind of like you and listen to your stuff and may buy something. 1,000 true fans, and you could live comfortably in a decent place off of that.
When you are a fan, you want to be able to feel like you're special. I mean, that piece of free content that you could give away in return for someone's email address could be an acoustic version of a song, maybe an in-studio session of you playing the song live, or it could be unreleased music. It could be something that is valuable content that someone says, okay, yeah, I'll give you my email just to check that out. Because it's all about relationship building, right? You don't want to go to a stranger and say, give me $20 for my CD. First off, no one's going to want to pay $20 for a CD, but hey, I came across you online. I liked what I heard. I heard some more, like that. Listen to more of your music. I'm into that. So yeah, I kind of want to check this out too. So it's all about relationship building, and it's what you call the value ladder. Give away something for free. Maybe you can do then again a free plus shipping order where it's like, I'm going to give you my album for free and maybe some merch, just pay the shipping and handling. Then maybe there you can maybe upsell to a vinyl, you can upsell to a bigger merch bundle. And again, all you need is 1,000 fans, people who really resonate with you as a person, your message, and continue to make offers. There's really only 3 ways, as an artist that you can, continue to make money. And that's like sell more at checkout, continue to make offers, and sell higher priced items. So, if you have 1,000 people that are on your email list and you can continuously market to them, that's all you have to do.
I'm terrible at it. I've been playing the music since the early 80s. I love making album covers. I love sequencing the records. I love listening to the sequenced record. And I'll go on the radio and talk about it or do interviews. But as far as social media, really hitting publications review my record, it's hard. It's soul sucking.
But that all comes with the understanding of knowing what to do and how to cultivate that fan base, knowing how to treat people, how to talk people, knowing that perception is key, how the people perceive you kind of determines your place in their world, understanding that story is the most important thing. You can make the most amazing music, but if nobody cares about you and your story, they're not going to invest in you. You can have the coolest clothes and the sickest tattoos, but if you don't have the charisma and charm to go on camera and talk in a way that people connect with and captivate and they want to listen more, then it's just going to fall on deaf ears. People aren't going to have you on their shows and podcasts. If you don't know how to go out to a crowd and give them what they want and show them love and make them feel like they had an experience, your live shows are going to suffer. There's just so many things to it that are about cultivating those fans, where once you have the fan base, then you can make whatever you want and do whatever you want.
Go in and target your ideal fan, retarget them again, get them on your email list so you have a direct line of communication with them forever. You don't have to rely on algorithms. You don't have to play the social media game. If you can get them on your email list, they are part of your network, they're part of your platform. They're your fan that you can have a communication line with day after day after day.
It's necessary and it works, but it's not fun. You have to do some marketing. Otherwise, how are you going to reach people? I mean, the most successful records in the world are only successful because they were marketing. The number of records that came out of nowhere without press are very small. You know what I mean? There's a reason that when the new Miley Cyrus record comes out, the label's putting thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars into promoting this, even now, because it's pop music and that's how you get it out to people.
It's one thing about children's music. We're still having kids every single year. And that is why I know in the industry, it's always been known that tween market has always been so lucrative, those young teenagers.
Yeah.
Because they don't want their older brother and sister's music. They want their own music. And they know the parents will spend the money for a 12, 13-year-old. And I remember I was my legal guardian for my niece. And heck, I remember when she was 10, 12 years old, I was spending all this money on for Miley Cyrus and Hillary Duff, probably 5 times what I spent it for myself. But, but that's the thing with that market. They don't want their older brother and sister's music. They want their own. And so, yeah, but same with the children, just keep new kids coming along all the time.
But it is harder now just because there's so much music out there. And because the shelf life for it is so short. Used to be, you'd buy an album and you'd pay $6, $7, $10 for it or whatever. and it's the only one you're going to get that week. So you're going to listen to it over and over. You might not like it the first time, but maybe by the 20th listen, like, you love that record. People don't really have that anymore because there's so much coming out. They'll stream this new record and it might take them 5 weeks to get back to the new Beyonce record or whatever, because something else is rolling through. You know, there's always new stuff coming out.
You know, if you have your own database of email lists or contacts from some shows that you played, some fans that you actually engage with in person, and you have their contact information, you now have a direct source and line of communication with them. Whereas, you know, back in the day, you needed a record label to distribute all your music, to get you on in front of the right audience, where today it's all direct to consumer. So again, whether you're a band or a small business, which essentially that's what a band is a small business, you have the power to reach the people who are going to vibe with your music and what you have to offer.
It also depends on what an artist's goals are. What are you trying to do as a music? Like, are you trying to make music as a hobby because it's your therapy, it's art, it's what you do for you, and it doesn't really matter if you make some money off of it, cool, then like there's certain things to do. If you're an artist that's like, I just want to live off my art, I just want to make music and be able to live off that, maybe buy my mom a house, live comfortably and be cool, and like that's cool with me. And then there's other artists that are like, I want to be better than Drake, I want to be bigger than Drake, I want to be the next Michael Jackson, right? And like that's a different path. So I think it first starts with understanding what your goals and intentions are as an artist. And I think for most people that I talk to, it's mostly, I want to be able to live off of making music and performing music.
When Madonna was selling records at the height of her career, yes, she was one of the most talented artists around. She was breaking ground, but they spent so much money marketing her on MTV, in magazines, on TV. You know, that's how people find out about stuff. Advertising works, marketing works. You have to do it, but man, it's not fun. And if you can hire a team to do it, that's the best. But you still need to do some yourself, because social media, that's how people find out about stuff.
The name of the game is using those channels to build your own platform, and that being your own website and email list. So you look at Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok as the giant ocean of where all of your potential fans could be. The name of the game is going out, putting hooks into the ocean and finding people who like what you have and bringing them back and putting them in your own little pond. So it's like going out and fishing in this giant ocean, bringing them back to your own pond to where you can continue to nurture and grow that fan base right there on your own platform.
Building that connection with the audience is important. You want to try to find some way to reach them, and social media seems to be the best way to do that, you know, to show a little piece of yourself. Don't always be on there hyping something. Just show something you're into. Show something that's about you. You can't go on social media every day and say, buy my record, buy tickets to my concert. That'll tune people off right away. You got to find ways to draw them in, market yourself and what you're doing as much as just this release. I mean, I think that's what it's about. You have to think beyond the release, because it's going to be, like I said, it's old news in just a couple days. Sadly, you put a whole year, 2 years into a record, and it's done. And I do this too. What are you working on now? What's next? What do you mean, what's next? I just got this done. 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears. My next is, you're going to hear this, and you're going to tell this person and this person. They're going to tell this person, and people are going to want to hear it. That's what's next. That's what we all want to be next. Like, share the music. That's what's next.
You know, there's so much great new music being made all the time. It's just waiting for you. All you got to do is go find it. You know, people could be, digging into those same things from the past that you already like, and, making something new out of that, or they could be forging some crazy new path that you hear for the first time and you're like, what the hell is that? Like, I got to find out, what is this person doing? Like, there's a lot of value for me in finding new things. You just gotta go check it out.
Why do you think people have a hard time with taking in something they've never heard before?
what's the word? I mean, I think, there are a lot of people that like to engage in new music and new stuff, but a lot of people do just like the comfort of going back to their favorite song, their favorite group. I mean, some people, which I don't understand, but they have this is what they like, and they don't want anything beyond that. Everything they like is from 1972 to 1990 or whatever, and that's their sweet spot, and everything else is bullshit. Throughout the week, really, I'm just trying to find new stuff, and luckily people send me stuff. I get emails, hey, check this out.
When listening to music, do you find that it's hard for people to like the songs the first time? Don't you think that it has to grow on them? A lot of music?
For some, like I hear a lot of music in my line of work doing radio. Basically every day of my life, almost, I'm like hearing something. And some things I hear it and I'm immediately like, yep, that's great. Love it. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. Or sometimes like I hear it and maybe the first time I'm like, oh yeah, cool, okay, that was pretty good. And then I'll hear it a few more times and it really starts to grow on me. Some little part of it'll stick with me. Or I'll find myself like a few days later, like there's a little part of it floating around in my head.
This is not going to pay for itself. If you make recordings, it's because it's the same way if you make paintings. Never make a painting with the thing. I'm making this painting so I can sell it. No, you're making this painting because it's a statement from you, and that goes with music. Music's the very same thing.
There's so many reasons to quit, and so few to keep going as an artist nowadays. It's just a sad thing when you see fellow friends throwing in the towel and things like that. It's just a bummer.
I think it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
You have a more positive understanding of music where it's not really about getting on the Billboard Top 100 per se, or being in like what they call the limelight, right? It's more than that. Can you go into more detail about?
Yeah, I mean that's not necessarily why I've ever gotten into it. I love music and I just like want to play the music I like, and if people like it too, then that's great. But it's doing what makes me happy is the thing that makes me happy. So feeling good about the music that I play and being able to show it to people, that's all I really care about at the end of the day, and that's what like I'm shooting for.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people in this community feel the same, because they're just out making the art that they want to make, and it's great, and it's really cool to see.
Being a working musician and having played probably 8,000-9,000 gigs in my life, I'm going to be the first to tell you they weren't all fun. And sometimes they weren't fun for a long period of time. When that age number starts to go up a little bit, and you don't find and you're having to work gigs that that just keep you employed, then it cannot be fun sometimes. But I'd still rather be doing that than, my old man worked in a factory 31 years. I'd rather be doing that than that, even though I would have total respect for my father's and his factory. He worked in the Frigidaire. So it is that.
It's a lot of great music out there that's going to never be discovered, because people quit. Mm-hmm. But,
So it takes discipline.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Discipline, but I would say more so passion. You got to have passion for it. And if you got true passion for it, it's going to take you where you need to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's going to make you be disciplined. You know what I mean? If this is your passion, it's going to make you be disciplined.
If you want to do it for a living, I think you should, because the people that do and make good art are like how we have the music that we have. I just it's a lot harder than people think.
Because of saturation for
yeah. One. And just the amount of work is I don't think it's very clear to some people right at the onset. It's a lot of work. And it's a lot of struggling. at first.
Just balancing music and work and life is like, that's one of the hardest things about it. I mean, like, really, just like, if all of our bills were paid and, you know, like, all we had to focus on was music, it'd be
So easy.
pretty easy. Even if nobody paid attention, it'd be easy. You know what I'm saying? Because we just love it so much. We just do it till we died, happily. But the hardest part about it is, like, life does happen, and, like, there's just so much that you have to keep up on your end as a human being before you can even be an artist.
I know a lot of extremely talented people that do it because they love to do it and they don't want the rest of the mess, and it makes them happy. So be it.
Great artist that, you know, gives up from after getting tired of not getting discovered, you know, like, that's how it goes. You give it a shot, and it's, some people call it at year 1, some people call it, you know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th year, but we're on year, like, I mean, it depends how you look at it. We started this project in fucking high school. What's up, guys? We're Life and Idol.
How's it going? I'm John. I play guitar and I do vocals.
I'm David. I play guitar and sing.
I'm Joe Friend. I play bass and I do backup vocals.
I'm Al and I play the drums.
Where, like, you can have this and, like, yeah, this is the way, but also doesn't matter at all. These guys over here did it the opposite way and are just as successful, and they did it all by themselves in their bedroom with no expensive studio gear, you know? Like, you hear those stories all the time, and then you also hear stories about, like, these famous cats got help, and of course they sounded good, you know? It's just wild that, like, there's so many different ways that you can make it in music, and we try and keep that in mind. I talked about it a little bit before, like, we have people who will say, oh, you're doing this the wrong way, you guys aren't, like, doing what you should be as a band. And it took a while for us to realize it. I mean, like, a lot of the times as an early band, we'd, like, follow their advice and delete stuff and redo things and do it their way, and then we'd sometimes even delete that and go back to what we did. And we just kind of found out that there's 100,000 ways that you can make it as a musician. I mean, there's a billion ways you can fail, but there's like so many different avenues that you can take and still hit success with music. And that's also, I guess, kind of what keeps us going, you know, is that, like, little bit of hope. I heard. Oh, we heard. A lot of it is just selling their personality on stage, like, as much as that's a thing, like we talked about for social media, it's a thing on stage, and, like, you can go up there and play a great set and not talk, and, like, you might get some fans, some t-shirt sales, but, like, you will not make the same connections with fans if you're, like, as when you are, like, properly talking and, like, engaging with the crowd in a way that, like, they can see kind of who you are.
The song's called Catch-22. It's about problems that feel unescapable. Raise your hand if you feel like you have any of those in your life right now.
Yeah.
Everybody on stage here has those things right now going on in our lives. And if you relate to this song, come up and talk to us after the set. We'd love to meet you.
I think people do, for the most part, respect and like live music, and they are willing to understand that the human element of music means it's not going to be perfect all the time. You know, you get the studio album. It took a year to record. They spent $1 bazillion on it. They went and got the best producer available, and they used all the best equipment, and it just sounds like $1 million. It sounds like this is just perfect. And then you go see them live, and it's. I mean, I've seen groups that sounded just like their records, but I kind of like the ones that don't. I like a little edge to it, the human element to it. You know, that was a little flat, or that was a little bit, you know, just something or other. I don't know, but it's. I think the human element is a beautiful thing in music, and I think audiences, for the most part, appreciate that.
I think today, while playing live is super fun, and I think it's a vital part to any artist or band and their growth, I think that the capabilities of the internet have opened so many doors to where you don't necessarily have to go on tour and jump from, you know, venue to venue to venue. Whereas today, if you just leverage the power of social media and paid advertising and knowing how to build community around your music and create your own little tribe online, I think you can exponentially grow your influence much faster. Again, playing live is definitely something that is an added bonus, and touring, I just don't think it's as necessary as it once was to grow your fan base.
There's always been a gap between being a really successful live act and just trying to get your thing out there for anyone to see. And if you go through years and years and years of playing little bars and little dives, and that's not your thing, you don't want to do it, you're going to get frustrated and stop playing. You know, it will not be what me. I don't mind it. That doesn't bother me at all. But a lot of folks probably does, because they can't get to the thing where we just can't get anyone to come see us. We can't get these nice paying gigs and these nice high profile gigs. You know, darn it. You know, my advice is just keep plugging at it. You know, something will work if you keep plugging at it long enough. If you got anything to offer, something should work for it. You know.
And other times it's more based on we're the people that hang out at X bar all the time, so we're friends, and we always go see our friends play, and they always come see us play, and it can be a pretty big group. But what happens is with those groups is people get married, they have kids, and suddenly they can't be at that thing every Tuesday or every Saturday to drink with their buddies, and suddenly they're not going to their shows anymore. So those kind of cliques are not as supportive as if you have a music clique of people who are just together because they love the music you're doing and they want to be part of that music, and they don't care if you're going to have drinks with them or not. They just want to be there to buy your record and support your music. But it can be tough too, though, you know, because sometimes those people, because they're musicians, are busy. They have shows. So if you're relying on other musicians to see you, it could be tough if they're playing as well. So there's no like perfect, you know, scene like that's going to perpetuate it. The best thing to do is build beyond the scene, and you got to draw from everybody. You got to draw people you don't know, and that's the only way it's going to work, is not when you're drawing your drinking buddies or your music buddies or your family and friends and their girlfriends and boyfriends. You got to reach people that are just Joe Blow that like music, and that's the hard thing, but that's the only way you're going to sustain it. And really the way to do that is to play out of your comfort zone. That means not play in the same clubs, go to different clubs, even if it's tough, which you probably will have to play to nobody the first time or a small crowd. But you got to build it up. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to go out of town sometimes. You got to go to Cincinnati. You got to go to Columbus, Indianapolis. It's easy. In Dayton, there's so many places you can go where you don't have to tour. Louisville's 2.5 hours away. Lexington's 2.5 hours away. Pittsburgh is only 5. Like Chicago's 6. You know, it's like so many places that you really should go. And honestly, that's the only way you're ever going to know if you're good, is if you play in front of people who you do not know. If they like you, you should keep doing it. If nobody likes you, try it a couple times. But if not, you know, maybe you should just be playing for your friends. And that's all it's going to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think anybody that makes music wants to connect with a bigger audience. You want more people to hear it just because you love what you're doing. You're proud of what you're doing. You put all this work into it. Why wouldn't you want people to hear it? You know?
But there's a lot of bullies in the music industry.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bullies. We've faced bullies before, and like
they weed themselves out too.
I mean, yeah, to an extent. Some of them are so successful you can't weed them out, and that's sad. But like,
There's a guy named Kevorkian. You're getting mentioned on a documentary, asshole.
Oh man, that's good.
He has a group on Facebook with like 20,000 people.
More than that now.
That says Cincinnati against Kevorkian.
I know. He's got like 2 or 3 Facebook pages.
Bro, it's wild. But like bullies, like
A lot of people around him. Just like a live show promoter.
Hasn't let people play in the past.
One of his
because
things that he'll do is he'll promise guarantees. This is one of the things he said to a band that gets quoted famously on Facebook. The bank ran out of money. I can't pay you. That's what he said to a band before. The bank ran out of money. I went to the bank. They were out.
Live
Crazy.
promoters are notorious for doing stuff like that.
Oh man, not all of them. There's so many promoters who are like great people who love the music industry even more than I do. I mean, like, I could mention a few, like
Libby Ballingy, you know who that is?
Yeah, she's great. She does it.
She's a good one.
I mean, there's tons of people like them who just sacrifice and sacrifice and sacrifice endlessly for music to happen. Not even their own music, but so that they can provide a place where musicians, I mean, bless those people. Like,
I interviewed her. She's just going to be in it.
that's awesome.
Nice.
She's amazing. And like, we can't thank the good promoters enough, and we can't hate the bad promoters anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's both extremes.
I'm actually kind of surprised by who responds to bands. That's one of the interesting things of doing some of these more community events. Like I do this event called Porch Fest, the Battle of the Bands, different events that we've done. One of the cool things about those events is that we get a wide demographic of people. So not just like age wise and, you know, male, female. And I'm like always sometimes like surprised by like what people gravitate to. Like I was like, oh, I totally thought this guy was a metal guy and he loved the jazz band. And, but what I would say about demographics and like how to plan a show, like, or how you should plan like a tour, or you're a local band and you're trying to do your thing. I think where bands really kind of go wrong is playing out way too much. Like doing little shows that are free or for tips, but like every week, or even kind of with like any major regularity, unless that's all you want to do. If that's like all you want to do is be kind of like an acoustic guitar player who plays at a bar and it's fun and you always just want to play on Tuesday nights at this bar and you don't want to achieve anything further than that, like that's absolutely great. But if you're trying to like get some momentum and become more well known and start to get outside of Dayton and, you know, start to like really kind of play out and, you know, this is like your mission, I would absolutely not do that. Like that is like the worst mistake you can possibly make, because at anything that is like a venue, like we're a venue, we're not a bar. Like I said, we don't have regular hours. I don't have foot traffic here. So it has to be heavily marketed. It has to be a special show. People want to be here. So if you play out every week at some like little, you know, bar, why would anyone come here and pay $10 or $15 or whatever it is? I have to turn people down for that very reason more than anything else.
We didn't spend a whole lot of time promoting these last shows because truthfully we're breaking a radius clause.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to be like, everybody come here, and then like get a whole bunch of attention there, and then be like, yeah, you see this radius clause you broke? We're gonna have to cut you.
Let's cut that.
I just see so much focus on playing every possible bar or venue in Dayton, and I'm like, what is that really doing for you? You're just completely saturating like a pretty small market in relativity. Like, make friends with people in Cincinnati, make friends with people in Toledo and Columbus and Cleveland and all these kind of. One of the great things about Dayton is we are 5 hours from like so many cities. Pittsburgh, Chicago, like Indianapolis. I mean, I can just, you know, Lexington, just rattle off all of these great cities. So play in all of those places. Like, make a long weekend. Like, do a weekend where you're playing Columbus, Cleveland, you hit Sandusky on the way home on some weird Sunday gig. I don't know, whatever it is. I just think that's going to get bands so much further than like playing every week at a little bar.
So that's definitely part of the reason, but it was still a good turnout. Like, we still had a lot of our friends and fans there, and like it was cool.
We already had that one booked, so technically we weren't required to drop it, but
yeah,
if you didn't really want to like push it too very hard at that point.
Sure.
Just for the respect,
Well, the benefits for performing live are endless. I mean, that's what the art is about. That's how, to me, music is about connecting with people. And when you connect with people in person, and that energy is something, you can feel it on the screen, but not like in person, not even close. And what would, the only thing, this is going to sound a little asinine possibly, the only reason performing could be a bad thing is if you suck. I could have put that better. But if you're a studio musician and the pitch correction has been masterfully done, and then you get up on that stage and can't reproduce it, that could suck for you. But that's all I got. Otherwise, music is about performance. Before we had all this amazing technology that we love to record it and do all kinds of cool things, music was live, period. That's where it started. That's where I can't imagine music without live performances.
I can tell you've been doing a show tonight already, man. You already got the energy.
Oh, the energy's there.
You're already there. That's awesome.
Yeah, we just want to keep making music, playing music, making more friends, and fans along the way.
Stay in full swing. We're still back here. We've got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Since we talked a lot about industry, that industry is important and industry is cool, but industry isn't like everything.
Yeah.
And numbers aren't everything, so just don't forget why you're doing what you're doing and why you love what you're doing.
What advice would you give upcoming local artists and musicians that you haven't maybe mentioned already, you think?
Be cool. Just be nice to people. Like, really, it's going to go farther to just be a good person. You don't have to be the best drummer. You don't have to be the best guitarist. But if you show up, do the work, are respectful, you'll get hired again. I mean, that's what people want. If you're fun to hang out with, that's better than being a shredder. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there are certain bands that's not going to fly in, but for the most part, people want to make music with people they like, they can trust, and they can depend on. So be that person, because your band is only as good as its weakest link. Making music is one of the greatest things in the world. The fact that you can sit down with people and create this stuff out of thin air, it's magic. It just doesn't get old. I've been doing it forever, and obviously there's a reason that this is what I do, but I mean, it is magic. It will change your life. It will make it better if you let it. It can ruin your life if you let it. You gotta be smart. You gotta be open-minded. And if people tell you you're losing it, listen to them and seek counsel. That's what I say.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning, like, every artist kind of like does it for themselves because it's an outlet for them. I think always do it for yourself until somebody says that you did it for them. Like, that basically, like, you are an inspiration to them or whatever. Like, just keep doing it for yourself and always do it for yourself, and then you'll find more people that are like hey, this did it for me.
But the thing is, like, it might take another 15 years of doing exactly this before we're where we feel we deserve to be, you know? And that's cool because we will grind for those 15 years doing it.
It's a good thing we got it on camera, I guess.
Yeah.
We like to switch it up on everybody. This song is a country song. I know. You've been enjoying a whole set of emo music. We're changing it up. I see a truck's hat out there, but I don't see a tractor hat. This song is about riding a tractor, cracking a cold one open on a hot summer day, all right? Hold on. Okay. This song's called Love Lost. Hope you like it. I feel all you feel. We're all the same. Who'd like to say what is fake?
And I mean, we played a couple things through our school and some coffee shops and stuff, but like you could also say we started right after high school because that's when we started like actually recording and releasing music. But through all of high school and doing all those shows, we wrote and we, you know, it was like the three of us, and we added John here and there through high school, and then for sure after. It's like I don't think any of us really think about quitting just because we love like what we do, and like for multiple reasons. The art is one of it. Like we all love the art of it and the writing and the getting to write these parts, getting to record the parts, and you know, carry them out live and performing them in front of crowds of people. It's like one of the coolest things ever, especially if you're doing it like we're very fortunate because we do it with each other, and we're like best friends. We grew up like through high school together, and like we're cousins, so we've known each other our whole lives. Like some bands come together, so like, you know, like one dude meets at a coffee shop and talks to another dude who talks to another dude, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like I really like that we get to do it, and we've already been, you know, friends, and like we would be friends outside of this band. Like it's really cool that like for all of us, I think, in the band, that we get to do it that way.
You're not, you know, piloting a space shuttle. You're not, you know, operating a nuclear submarine. You know, you're out playing music. It's fun, like Mr. Rosenbaugh said. It's fun. It's got to be fun.